So in today's video, guys, we're going to be looking at the Govee Glide Wall Lights here. As we take a look at the box here, you know, obviously very nice design, gives you descriptions of everything. You have smart voice control, multiple scene modes, colorful lighting. They are dimmable, segmented color control, and you can also set the timers on these lights. As for the rest of the box here, we're going to open her up and see what's inside. As we first look at it, we have the instructions manuals and the guides for whatnot on how to install the actual wall lights themselves, and connections and tips and tricks. So it is very informational and it's super easy to set up by just using that guide right there. As we dive deeper into the box, I'm going to be taking out one of the lights here. It is in nice plastic wrapping and they're all packaged nice and neatly, so I know they weren't going to get damaged on the way over here. So here's the light themselves. There is one of the connection ports right there to connect up the other lights or the L bracket they provide. There's also a Velcro / sticky double-sided tape right there, so you're able to move and adjust them freely to what you want them, so that way that they're easily movable. In this box here, we're going to be taking a look at the actual power cord itself. It is just the Bluetooth / Wi-Fi adapter here. It's a decent and long enough cord, so that way you know you don't have the big box, the big Bluetooth box hanging around anywhere visible, so that way you're able to hide everything nice and neatly. And you'll see that later on in the video when we install these behind my TV. Here's the actual Bluetooth hub and Wi-Fi adapter itself, that connection port you've seen. Here is the L bracket that they provide for turning your lights, so that way it's not just one large bar of lighting. This kit comes with 6 lights and 1 L bracket. So that is it for what's inside the box, so let's go ahead and dive deeper into the devices themselves. Take note that it does take quite a bit of pressure to put these together. It may feel like you're going to break it, but that's just because it's snapping nice and securely in place. So the best way to do this is use the palm of your hand and put some pressure on the lights themselves to snap them in place. Be warned that you're not going to break it. It just requires quite a bit of force in order to snap in place nice and securely, so that way it looks flush and doesn't look like there is segmented lighting. As you'll see later on in the video, it looks beautiful. So now that we just unboxed the Govee wall lights, we're going to be installing them around our entertainment center here. We're going to be starting at the TV around this side, and we're going to make our way right here, and then we're going to make that turn with the bracket that we got, and then we're going to come all the way across, and then we're going to end the lights right here. So I've got the lights just sitting here like so, and I'm going to be taking them from the start here, like I said, all the way around, and then I'm going to be taking our bracket here, our L turn, and I'm just going to be placing it right there, so that way it looks flush and around the TV. So, you know, it's simply nice to install these as well, because like I said in the video, they come with a sticky back part right here, and they also actually come Velcroed. Maybe you don't want the light up there anymore, you can take your Velcro straps and Velcro it back on or off. So it's pretty simple to use these, and they're not just cheap Velcro straps, they're actually the ones that you have to put some pressure in order to stick. So I'm just going to be taking over my lights right here, just going to get a rough estimate of what we're going to need for the lighting. So I'm going to take our main part right here, go ahead and snap it into our first light right here, and then I'm going to be doing some measuring, just so that way I know I'm getting the right placement and the amount of lights are correct for my working. Alright, so it's kind of hard to hold this up correctly, but I found the placement that I want the lights. I want them to shine just above here, and I figured 2 lights on the side and then the rest of the lights on top that came with the kit. I wish they had another L bracket in the kit, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to take my light here that I measured up correctly, and then I'm just going to make a little mark at the bottom so that I know where I'm going to be installing these lights at. So the way that I'm going to be installing these lights is actually I'm going to be taking off the first sticky protector part right here, and then I'm going to stick it where I want, and then that way I can rip off the Velcro and then continue for the rest of them. So for example, I'm going to measure up my light to the top first. It's about where I want it, and then I'm going to press down here at the bottom, and then I'm able to take it off. If you guys can see, right there is where I installed the first strip right here for the Velcro part that sticks to it right here. And then I'm just going to continue for the rest of them. So I'm going to take off this sticky part right here, and then I'm going to take off the top one as well, since I like the placement. I just took off the first one just in case I accidentally ruined the placement and I need to do it again. But I like the placement, so I just went ahead and took off the rest of the sticky strips, and then I'm just going to make sure to line the bottom one and then stick on the other ones. Now for our top one, I'm just going to undo all of our sticky strips here, first two, and then I'm going to take off the other two, so that way I can get these lined up perfectly nice and flush and square. Perfect. I got those two installed, and then I'm going to take my last two right here, undo my sticky strips, and install them to make them look as flush as the other ones. And then we'll turn on the lights so you guys can see them in action. So no, make sure when you're installing this, you're installing them correctly so that you know where to place the tabs at when installing them. Now if you guys look at that, I like the way that is looking, and if we take a look closer, there's a nice look right there. We've got it all flush and mounted correctly around the TV. I wish we had another one to put right there, but we may be ordering that on Amazon later. But for now, let's run the cord right here behind the wall so it looks nice and flush and we can't see it. My power outlets are behind my TV, so I'm gonna have to go behind there to plug the lights in real quick. So as you guys can see, the lights just turned on around here. I really like the flow of it. But you know, this is not the only color. So let's pull out my phone here and get into the app to change the functions. So I'm gonna put my phone screen here on the left side of the screen, so that way you're able to see what is going on here. So I'm on my lights here. We got set the Govee rock lights, so stay tuned for that video as well. But anyways, let's get into this. So we got the wall lights, right? So we have the Govee Glide Wall Lights right here. We've got the device already connecting. We're gonna wait for it to connect here. And now we're gonna be connecting the Wi-Fi to the device themselves. You can just run this on Bluetooth, but I like to have them set up so I can work them anywhere in the world. The Wi-Fi connection was successful, so now we're just connecting up to the lights here. And as you guys can see, we're already loaded up with a multitude of functions here. So let's go ahead and just change the scene. As you guys can see here, it's just flowing nice and beautifully here. And if I turn off the lights, maybe you guys will be able to get a better look. Check that out, guys. I knew that was going to be better when I turned off the lights, but check that out. It just looks so flush and clean. And I love how well the devices snap together, so that way you don't see the little cracks and creases in between the lights. Obviously, you're going to be able to see them if you're staring at it like this, but who's going to be staring at the lights like that, right? Anyways, I love the way it looks. Let's go through some of the other different functions here. So instead of rainbow, let's do meteor. Oh, check that out, guys. There's a little bit of blue following the white. If you guys can't really see that on camera as well, but I can see that. That's just crazy. Now let's look at forest. Okay, so it's just a bunch of green. Different types of green, a little bit of yellow. That's neat. What about ocean? Oh, so it's getting a little bit brighter and a little bit bluer. That's sweet. You know, and there's just, I can go through this app forever and just look at a bunch of stuff. You know, it's just never ending with the customization of this device. Same with the rock lights. I'm really impressed with that. So again, stay tuned for that video. But anyways, guys, this is pretty much all I have for the lights themselves here. Like I said, you guys can do a multitude of functions here. There's endless amounts of functions, and you can even go in here and customize them themselves to the way you want. So you can actually go in and select each segment of lighting and program it yourself. So if we go back to our color mode here and say I want these sections of lighting to be all the way, I'd say select that, and let's just put those sections green, as you guys can see there. And then maybe if I want these last two sections to be blue, I'm able to do that. And if you see right there, it's blue. So really, you can customize this to any way you want, any liking, any flow. So yes. And of course you can change the brightness, and they're actually really bright. They're probably light up a room if you have these filled with it. So anyways guys, thanks so much for tuning in and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I do, and stay tuned for more great content.